So, Sean O'Malley said that Islam Makhachev is the greatest fighter right now in his interview with Helen Yee. Honestly, I think that Sean O'Malley is like one of the first fighters ever we've seen that's really given a lot of praise to fighters from Dagestan. Honestly, when you just look online, you see so much hate from the MMA community directed at fighters from Dagestan. People just can't seem to stand their wrestling approach and their grappling style, and honestly can't seem to stand the fact that they're beating so many of their favorite fighters. Like when Islam Makhachev beat Alex Volkanovski at UFC 284, people were just going on about it all the way up until UFC 294 when Islam beat Volkanovski via a first round knockout. MMA fans online were literally debating online every day and fighting in the comments every day about the fact that they thought Alex Volkanovski won that fight. And then Islam Makhachev really had to show everyone up when he did beat Alex Volkanovski via a first round knockout at their fight at UFC 294. It's not the first time that we've seen Sean O'Malley go out and be confident and openly support fighters from Dagestan. In the past, he did say that he had a nightmare that he had to fight Islam Makhachev. And even on his podcast where he talked about Islam being such a well-rounded, skilled fighter.
Striking. That motherfucker is skilled on the feet. He is very technical.
He's skilled everywhere.
Yeah, he's underrated on the feet for sure.
Oh my God, his top.
It seems like Sean O'Malley's support for Dagestani fighters is dividing a lot of fans online, and people just can't seem to take it. And even in a recent interview with Red Corner MMA, Sean O'Malley essentially said that no version of Conor could have beaten Khabib. Speaking of Conor versus Khabib, I feel like that fight is probably one of the most searched ever things on YouTube, and still everyone brings up that fight after any major UFC event. And literally everyone brings up Khabib after any UFC event. You can go online and literally see that Khabib is trending. So we do see Conor McGregor still take jabs at Khabib and his team online, and Khabib doesn't really seem to respond or have much to say, but he was on a podcast recently, the Inspire Me podcast. Khabib actually did talk about that post-fight brawl that happened after UFC 229 that is one of the most viral UFC moments ever. So in the podcast, Khabib did acknowledge that there was a lot of rivalry and tension in the lead up to the fight, and he did go into that fight feeling a lot of emotion, and he really just wanted to bite Conor McGregor's heart. As we know, Khabib did win the fight in the most iconic way with this head-crushing choke, and it's clear that everyone will just continue to talk about this fight forever. Khabib did say in the podcast that he doesn't really think about this moment anymore, despite the fact that people do like to keep bringing it up and asking him about it. As we know, Khabib has returned to the UFC recently in coaching his teammates, including Islam Makhachev and Umar Nurmagomedov, and he has coached both fighters to incredible victories recently. So I've been keeping up with Khabib's social media updates, especially on Instagram, and it's really nice to see that he's been back at the AKA gym in San Jose, California with his coach Javier Mendez. So I saw this clip recently of Khabib and Cain Velasquez, and he's there watching old Cain Velasquez videos and talking about how he really studied Cain Velasquez fights before his own. Honestly, I think that this just shows that Khabib is truly a passionate MMA figure. Even though he's not fighting anymore and he is retired, he is still so involved with MMA. He still studies the sport, he still trains his fighters, and he's always looking on ways to improve and learn more. He is still truly a student of MMA. Going back to Conor McGregor, Sean O'Malley also spoke about the fact that he does feel that Conor McGregor is jealous and bitter towards him. So in quite a few of Sean O'Malley's past interviews that are actually not that long ago, Sean O'Malley always did speak about how Conor McGregor is one of his idols and that he aspired to be a superstar just like Conor McGregor. But now he does feel that Conor McGregor is jealous and bitter towards him. Sean O'Malley did acknowledge the fact that he has more title defenses than Conor McGregor now, and that now he's in the limelight of the UFC and feels that Conor McGregor is jealous. So it seems like Sean O'Malley is quite disappointed in the fact that Conor McGregor hasn't been that supportive of him. But as we know, Sean O'Malley was a victim of one of Conor McGregor's many tweet rants, especially when the whole Ryan Garcia Sean O'Malley drama was going on online. Sean O'Malley even did say that once he is further on in his career and hopefully not on a 5-fight losing streak like Conor McGregor, he will still reach out and mentor younger fighters as opposed to the way Conor McGregor is handling the situation with himself. Sean O'Malley feels that he will reach Conor McGregor's level of stardom in the UFC once he defeats Merab and the likes of Umar Nurmagomedov. In one of my past videos, I did speculate that perhaps Sean O'Malley versus Umar Nurmagomedov could be the next Khabib versus Conor fight, perhaps in beating UFC 229's pay-per-view figures of 2.4 million pay-per-view buys. But honestly, just looking at it now, I feel like Sean O'Malley is just way too respectful of an individual, and he probably won't go to the levels that Conor McGregor did in order to sell that fight and create so much tension with Khabib. I do think that Sean O'Malley has good mic skills, he's got a good personality, but I don't think that his trash talk will reach the level that Conor McGregor's did for Khabib. But do I see Sean O'Malley attacking buses or other fighters before the fight takes place? Probably not. Even though that intense rivalry was between Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov, other fighters were literally collateral damage on that bus, especially Michael Chiesa, who was hit by some glass and his face was literally bleeding. Of course, this comment from Sean O'Malley about Islam Makhachev being the greatest fighter right now is definitely going to cause a lot of stir online, especially with people going on about the fact that Dana White has been calling Jon Jones the greatest fighter of all time when he hasn't fought in quite a while. I want to put the comment to anyone who's viewing this video: who do you think is the greatest fighter in the UFC right now?